Hi, this is Joe from Rumskull Games, and today we're going to look at Flamecraft from Cardboard Alchemy as published by Lucky Duck Games. It's a 1 to 5 player game, but today we're going to look at the solo version. Now I'm going to need a little bit of help today, so I've called in my friend Pan the Bread Dragon. Hi Pan! Pan is actually in this game, so he might have a little bit of inside information to help us get a higher score. Now, the solo version starts with a basic set of buildings and cards, and as you play through and get higher scores and meet certain conditions, you can unlock more things for future playthroughs. But for today, we're going to start from the very beginning, and let's see if Pan can help us unlock a few things. I have a game set up over at the table. Let's go check things out. Come on, Pan! Here we are over at the table with our solo game of Flamecraft set up. And just to go over some of the ways that this particular version is established, I have my 6 starter shops out. There's 2 sets of starter shops in the game. The 6 basic ones the shops have no abilities, and these 6, the shops do have an ability where you can either gain a victory point or spend a victory point to gain 2 resources. That makes it for a little bit more of an interesting decision. We have our artisan deck of 5 dragons set up in the park. The deck has 1 of each type removed from the deck and returned to the box. Coins in the fountain, just as our bank. Our fancy dragons, there are 12 specific dragons you need to select from the box based on what's listed in the rulebook. You can unlock additional fancy dragons to add to that as you play through the solo game and meet certain criteria and win conditions. And then we have our enchantment deck, and there are 2 in the game, and I'm using the gold deck because these have a little more interesting awards to gain. We also have our deck of shops with just the 10 selected, also specific 10 listed in the rulebook, and you can unlock more of these same way by winning the game and meeting certain win conditions, and we'll go over that at the end. To start, everyone is dealt 3 artisan dragons and 2 fancy dragons, but you can only keep 1 of those fancy dragons. So let's see who we have here. We have Taylor, and the sun icon means it is one you can play during the game. And it says, when placing a dragon, gain a victory point for each of the same type in town. Okay, that's one option. And our other option is Boo Boo. That has the moon icon, so that is an end game dragon. And so at the end of the game, 1 victory point for each good you have 2 or less of at the end of the game. So comparing these two, for us, I might not be playing dragons towards the end of the game. I'm going to be focusing on gathering resources and trying to turn those into points. So I'm going to keep Boo Boo, thinking I'm going to spend through my resources and have very few at the end. Maybe we can turn that into points. Take the one you didn't choose, put it at the bottom of the deck, and we are ready to go. So, not really sure where I want to go. For starters, I think because I have 2 purple dragons, and there is a potion dragon slot available right next to Pan, who is waiting for us, we'll take our Pan token and go visit Pan at the grand entrance. We'll do the gather action, which allows you to gain resources. You gain resources from the shop itself. In this case, it is a single bread token. And then resources from every dragon who is already in the shop. Pan is already there. Not our stuffed Pan, but our Pan card. And that gives us an additional bread token. The next thing you can do is you may place a dragon in an available slot. And that was what our thought was here, is we're going to place one of our potion dragons in that slot and get us a new fancy dragon. That might give us some more direction for how we want to play out the rest of this game. And we just drew Twinkle. It's a during game dragon, and after enchanting, gain 2 points per enchantment of the same type in town. That could work out well for us. The game itself is going to enchant many of these shops as we go and these will be very full shops. So uh, that might get us quite a few points. Then you can fire up one of the dragons, including the one you just placed. Now, the one we just placed, so we can swap with a dragon fired up. But I think just to go with the theme of visiting Pan at the grand entrance, let's fire Pan up, which says draw one dragon. We just drew Herb. So we have a green one now to go with the rest of our thing. Oh, the green's ability is gift a good to another player to gain 2 points. We definitely don't want to do that early, but later in the game, that's a good way to spend the resources and get points without having to fulfill enchantment contracts. And then we may use the shop's ability. Our shop's ability is to get 1 point or to spend a point for 2 bread tokens. We didn't start the game with any points, so then we just take our 1 point and complete our turn. Now it turns over to the game, and the game will go starting by refreshing the park if we had taken a dragon, which we did not. And then it will reveal a dragon from the top of the artisan deck. In this case, we have a diamond dragon, Frostfire, and it places it in the first available slot, going clockwise, starting from the park. And the first slot is this wild one right here at the grand entrance. It does not trigger any of the resources listed there. However, we did just fill all 3 slots, so we will take the next shop card and put it in any available slot on the board. I'm going to put it there to see if we can get a more powerful one, maybe filled up with some cards, if not by us, by the game itself. Then you take the token matching that dragon you just played and put it in the shop. That will get in our way, as we'll have to pay a resource now if we want to visit that shop, as long as that blue token is there. If any of these enchantments match the type of the dragon just played, then we enchant a shop and we use it. But we don't have any diamond enchantments waiting for us, so we don't need to do that step. That's good, because that when that deck runs out, that will trigger the end of our game. So it's good if that hangs out as long as possible. And then finally, we refresh this if they happen to take one, and refresh the park and expand the town. So let's see who they expanded with. We have the Wishing Well. This one, instead of giving resources, gives 3 coins, which are wild resources. That's pretty good. And then you can flip those coins if you choose to, and get 2 points for heads, or you lose the coin for tails. That's a very interesting shop there. Let's see how that one plays out if we choose to flip some coins later. Okay, well, now we're going to come back to us, and I think we need to look at these enchantments and see what we want to go for. I don't actually see any enchantments out there that will use our bread tokens that we already received. So I'm going to come down to the Red Tail Wharf. We can put our herb dragon there and get another fancy dragon, and I think that's a good way to go at the beginning of the game. So we'll come down here to the Red Tail Wharf. We'll get 2 meat tokens, and then we may place a dragon, and that's what we'll do. We'll put herb there, and that gets us another fancy dragon, and we got Sparkle. Sparkle, during game 1, after enchanting, gain 1 point per unique enchantment in town. Well, Sparkle and Twinkle sound very similar. In fact, they are mirror images of each other. So enchanting is the way to go. We want to enchant something later on in the game, and maybe cash both of those in for some big points. Now we can fire up one of these dragons if we choose to. We can place a dragon in town with Hickory, or gift a good. I don't want to gift any goods right now. I'm really trying to collect goods. So let's see. I think next time I might want to go up to that lighthouse and get some diamonds. Maybe we'll work on this unicorn flakes. And unicorn flakes could be a good one to work on, because there's 3 heart enchantments That way the game won't steal the very enchantment we were working on right out from under us. So let's do that one. Let's fire up Hickory, which says we can place a dragon in town, and we will place. Let's make this one very big with the diamonds. We'll place Silver Scale up there in the wild slot. We do still get the benefit, which is a coin, but we don't do anything in that shop because we didn't go visit the shop. And then lastly, we can use the shop ability. We can gain a victory point, or we can spend a victory point for 2 meat. And if we spend that victory point right now, we can get 2 meats, and we'd be very far ahead on those unicorn flakes. So I'm going to spend the point we got last time to get the 2 meat. And that will conclude our turn. All right, on to the game. He flips over and gets Olive, a green one. So the first available slot is this one in the middle of the wishing well. And we'll put the green dragon token there to indicate that. Luckily, again, no green dragon or no green enchantments available, so we don't have to move any of those out. And we did not fill up any of the shops, so back to our turn. And what we were talking about was going up there and getting some of those diamonds. So let's do that. We'll go to that, to the lighthouse. That one actually gets us 3 diamonds, 1 for the lighthouse itself, and 2 for the dragons already sitting in there. We may place a dragon there, but we don't have a dragon we can place. And then we may fire up 1. They're both the same. Gain 3 different goods. And even though we collected diamonds, we can still collect diamonds. It's just 3 different goods based on that card. So looking ahead, if we're going to claim unicorn flakes, what might we like? I see the diamonds and the leaf are out there. We're about to spend all of our diamond. Let's take a leaf, and let's take a potion and a diamond. You know what? I've got mine on some of these. Maybe that owl beer or the filet mignon could work out. We'll take those 3 and use the shop ability. I think I'm going to take the actual victory point again this time. We don't have a point to spend, so we'll just take our victory point. Okay, we did not fill up a shop, so on to the game's turn. All the park is full. We have Suzette bread. That's going to fill up the wishing well. That shop is getting full up very fast. Now, we just drew a dragon that would use the same piece as we do. In this case, we don't move a piece to the shop, so I guess that's all right. But we do have 3 bread of enchantments available, and we have to place one of them. Now we get to choose when there are multiple, and we don't want to choose this one because we have our eye on that guy. So we have to spend one of these 2. I'm going to spend the minnow tarts and put those up there. Now it does enchant the bread shop and not the shop where you placed the dragon. And if there were multiple shops where you could place them, as in later other shops will come out, it is your choice to where that enchantment would go. Okay, we'll refill the market there and go on to our turn. We are going to do this unicorn flake. I think we're going to earn this unicorn flakes card. We have the resources for it. So to do that, we're now doing the enchant action. So we'll go to the shop, and we still have to gift a good to every player who is already in that shop. There's 1 player there. What do we want to gift? I think I'm going to gift that bread that we have. Gift that bread token, and now enchant. So we're going to do the unicorn flakes here. We have our 4 meat tokens and the 2 diamond. So we'll spend those. And that gets us, in this case, get those away there, 3 victory points. Moves up to 4. 2 coins, the wild resources, and 1 dragon. Then we'll place this up here. So the dragon, we can take an artisan dragon from the deck or from the park. And if we look ahead as to where we might want to go, it's looking like we might want to get some green if we want to do that owl beer. And to do the owl beer, we just need 2 more greens. So if we come here, we would need an iron or a wild. Let's draw a card here and see if we can get an iron, and we're lucky, and then we can get another. We did not. We got potato, the meat dragon. Okay. And then you can fire up all of the dragons once you enchant a shop. So we've enchanted a shop, and you can do these in any order. Let's see what we have here. We have the owl beer, where we need 2 more greens, and we don't have any iron, and they're all iron now. Look at all the other 3 that have iron. So we're going to gain the 3 different goods first, and we're going to gain the iron that we don't have any of. We'll gain the leaf that we need for the owl beer contract, and who knows? Maybe another potion if we happen to get filet mignon and we don't need to visit a potion shop. We have pan to draw 1 dragon. We can choose to do that, and I think we will here. Now, if this deck runs out, also that does trigger the end of the game. So I'm usually a little cautious about drawing too many dragons, but I think for now it's all right to have 1. And there's the iron dragon I was talking about for the green shop down there, the water lily. And last is Venti. Swap with a dragon in town and fire it up. So that's always a fun one there, because we can move the dragons around and they don't have to match the slot. So we don't have to put a potion dragon in this potion slot. We can just find a dragon we want and trigger it. And let's do. I like having those diamond guys and getting 3 different goods. So what if we did that again? We get to fire that one up and get 3 different goods. Now there's no rule that says we can't pick the same 3 we did for this one. It's just 3 different goods for that specific dragon's ability. And I definitely want another iron. I think we're gonna take another potion, and I think we'll take a bread, because I'm not gonna come back to this shop on this next turn. So let's have a bread in our arsenal there. Okay, that finishes the enchant. We will always refill the market at the end of our turn. We didn't select any of the dragons from the park. The game will go and we'll draw an iron dragon, patina. So this one will go in the first available slot clockwise. That's a no, a wild, yes. And we will take the iron dragon token, place him in the Skyrise district there. Check if there is an iron. There's not an iron contract. Well, we are getting lucky with the game not selecting the contracts we have out there. That is really good for us. Refresh and refresh. Back to us. So what do we want to do here? You might say we don't have enough for the owl beer, but we do when we consider we have these coins for wild tokens. So we can spend 1 coin, 1 diamond, and 1, 2, 3, and that will get us 4 points and yet another fancy dragon. So let's do that. Let's go on and enchant a shop to do the owl beer. And luckily, there's nobody there. We don't have to pay to visit the shop. So we will do that. We'll choose the owl beer, and we'll pay with 1 coin, 1 diamond, and 1, 2, 3 leaf resources. That gets us 4 victory points, up to 8, and 1 fancy dragon. Who do we have here? Todd. Gain a point for each type of good you have that is odd. That's odd, Todd. All right, Todd, that's an end game criteria. We'll see if we can end with 1 of each, and that will give us an odd point for Todd and 2 and less for Boo Boo. That's an interesting collection. And then this goes in and enchants that shop. And now we may fire up any number of dragons there. There's only one. Again, my favorite, swap. And we can swap with another diamond. I can pull that diamond right back out of the grand entrance and and get some more resources. That's definitely the plan I will do here. We'll swap you out. You go back there. And fire that one up. Gain 3 different goods. Well. Let's look at this. That bread one. We can get 1 iron, 1 meat, and then we have enough to actually do that bread if it's not taken away from us before we get there. And we get one more resource. I'm going to take a leaf because we don't have one. Seems good enough. All right, refill the market. Steel or the iron, and now the game goes Cinnabon. The first slot with bread. That's that slot which fills up that shop. We'll put that one out. To bread, we are playing the bread token, so we won't move the piece there. But it did just take away that one enchantment we were working towards. And so that will actually fill up the grand entrance with all 3 breads. It's interesting. There won't be any more breads in that deck to come out. There's only 3 of each type. So so be it. The grand entrance is fully enchanted. We will refresh this market. And back to us. And what do we have here for our next town? Fogo de Char. Place a dragon ignoring icons. That will not necessarily be in this shop. It can be any shop. And you gain the listed reward plus 2 coins. Interesting. Okay. And so far I've been just placing them just in order. You can place them wherever you like. But that one seems good enough for now. What are we going to do next? Let's see. What do we have the ability to do? We have the ability to do the filet mignon. We could spend 3 and 2 of those in our very last wild. That's okay. That's okay. I don't know if I'm thrilled with that reward. I think I'd rather go for the something along the lines of Werwares, or maybe we can build our way up to this camouflage. So this one is scores based on sets, and you get if you play a set of meat, leaf, and bread. That's a nice sandwich you got going there. If you play one set, you actually get 0 points. Why would you do that? Well, maybe you would want to trigger one of your scoring cards, right? But if you have 2 sets of those 3, you get 5. If you have 3 sets of those 3, that's 9 points. You're not allowed to use wild coins on this one, but I think we'll go for that. If we go get some bread back up at the grand entrance, where we get all of our resources right now, we need to pay 1 for going in. I'm going to pay the bread that I have. Why? Because I'm about to get a whole loaf, it seems like. I'm going to get 4 slices just from the shop itself. And then I'm going to get another one from Pan in the shop. I'm going to get a potion from Tannin. And I'm going to get a diamond from Frostfire. That's a lot of resources. I'll mention there is a limit. The resource limit is just you cannot have more than 7 of a single type of resource. You can have as many of the coins as you like, but you can't have more than 7 of any given specific resource. So we can't place a dragon. That shop is full. But we can fire up any one of those guys. I'm not going to fire a Pan. I don't want any more dragons. And I could just fire up the gain 3 different goods guy. I think we'll do that. We'll just fire up Frostfire instead of moving cards around. It's the one I would want anyway. So let's gain 3 different goods. What do we have our eye on here? Well, we're looking for the camouflage. So we have plenty of bread, but definitely we'll take a leaf. Definitely we'll take a meat. Now we're We already have 2 sets there, and our third one will be, oh, I don't know. We'll take a diamond because that's the other one we have the least of. That seems reasonable. Um, and now, because we're finally visiting a shop for resources, we can use the shop ability, and we'll just take the victory point. No need to spend a point for more bread. That's for sure. Refill, nothing to refill. The game goes. We have coal, iron dragon. Let's see. Not there, not there, not there. We're going to the wild slot. Since that dragon is already out, we just move him over. And choose an enchantment. Now we have 2 enchantments out there. I want to save that one for us. So we will select this enchantment and place him right there. Okay, that didn't fill up a shop, so we will pull up the next enchantment. The third iron one is out. Okay. So camouflage. If I want to do that camouflage and I do want to do that camouflage one, what will I need to do? Well, I have enough bread. I need a meat and a leaf. And that means I could go visit the leaf shop, but I won't get any meat from there. Or I could visit the meat shop when I will get a leaf from there. That is enough to do what I need to do. And I don't think there's anywhere else where I can go and get a meat and a leaf quite so easily. Unless I go to one that just says gain 3 different goods. And then I get the meat and the leaf plus whatever is there. So, yeah, and I don't need to use Hickory's ability for placing one in town. And I'm still not in a place of gifting goods, I don't think. I don't think yet. I don't think it's quite end game. So let's do that. Let's move to a place where we can get a diamond dragon fired up. I'm gonna go up to the lighthouse, and that will get us in our gather mode. Gain goods. We get 2 diamonds and 1 of the potion. And we can place a dragon there. I don't have one to place them, so we won't place one. Fire up one of the dragons. Well, gain 3 different goods. I'm all over the meat and the leaf for sure. And looking at the rest, I think the third one is going to be iron, just to balance that out. And use the shop ability. Do I want 2 more diamonds? No, I will take the point. We got to get up on those points quick. All right, nothing to refresh. The game will go. Honey, we have bread. First shop available goes there, not moving us. And we don't have any bread enchantments out there. We've already actually done them all. So again, we're not going through that deck very, very fast. That's good for us. Okay, let's see if we can get that camouflage going. I want those full 9 points. So we'll go over here to the Skyrise district and run our enchant. Luckily, the Iron Dragon left that recently, so we don't have to pay to visit it. And let's check out our camouflage. We have our 3 meat, our 3 grass, and our leaf, and our 3 breads. We got 3 steak sandwiches going out the door, I guess, to get us 9 victory points, 10 to 19. That's the biggest jump we've had yet. That's good. That's good. Put those there, and that enchants this shop, as it's the only. That's where we are there, and then we can fire up all the dragons. Turns out they're both iron dragons, and they both say gain 2 of 1 good from the shop or dragon here. So it looks like we can get 2 iron and 2 iron. We'll do that, and then we'll hit the limit. We have 8 iron, and you can only have 7, so one of those has to be returned to the supply at the end of our turn. Actually, take that guy back. No, yeah, we'll definitely do that. And then we will use the shop's ability to gain 1 victory point because we don't need any more iron. We're up to our eyeballs in iron. All right, let's see. The game goes, and we have Lotus. We got a green leaf. Not there, not there, not there. Coming around the bend. Wild. Red tail wharf. So we're going to get a shop ready to go up in that slot. We placed the green, so our green token will come down here. but we had to refill at the end of our turn there. And oh, look, lo and behold, it was a green one. So the game will automatically select that one to enchant a leaf shop, and then we will refresh this market, and that's there. How are we doing here? We have about 6 enchantments left. I don't want to do that anymore. I don't know if I want to do that anymore. So end of the turn here, we have. I'll bring this up to the camera here. Nunya's Beeswax came out. Gain 1 coin per dragon here, or pay 1 coin to fire them all up. This particular shop is wild, meaning when you go here and you play this or collect a resource, you collect any one you want. But if you enchant this one, you can also enchant with anyone you want. Still a limit of 3 enchantments on any one shop, but now we have choices of where to place the enchantments when the game selects one. We could always put one here if we didn't want to put it in one of the other shops. Okay. Now, what are we going to do? We have all these resources, and if I spend them, I'm going to trigger that meter. So we got to spend wisely, I suppose. What do we want to do? Maybe we got to focus on our enchantment people. We don't. This one would be a point per unique enchantment in town, and there's 4 enchantments in town right now. And our Twinkle is gained 2 of the same enchantment type. Well, that's interesting because we were just here, so we'll have to come back there to get our 6. But that might be a good one to focus on. So we would need to do Internal Friar, which will be 4. We have enough. We don't have enough leaf tokens, so let's go over to the Water Lily Way. We're going to gain our resources, 3 leaf tokens. And now we're gonna place our dragon Rusty in here to gain another one of these fancy dragons, and we have Tallyman, return an enchantment from your hand for 3 victory points each. That's a little insurance policy at the end of the game. If you had any of these that didn't score so well, you could just return them for 3 points. Okay, that's an interesting option there. And so we placed a dragon. We got our rewards. We can fire one of these guys up. Gift a good to another player for 2 points. Boy, yes, totally. We got to get some of these goods out of here. 2 points. Give that back to the game. And use the shop's ability. We will gain the victory point. Okay, on to the game's turn. Opal Wing, we have a diamond, and that is going to fill in the last spot there. And we're going to move the diamond dragon there, and the diamond enchantment will get played. We could play it in either one of these, but I'm going to play it there since if I need resources, that is a better spot to go. And what town or what shop just came out in town? Tip the scales, pay 2 gems to convert unique goods 1-to-1 into victory points. This one is a really good one for the solo game. We can go into this shop and crank out 5 or 6 points without triggering any of the enchantments that progress towards the end of the game. So we might be visiting this shop as much as possible before the time runs out on us. Let's see. Okay. What do we have? What do we have going on next here? So play the diamond enchantment. Refresh that, and we did the town right. So on to us. What do we want to do? Well, that place that just came out, pay 2 gems to convert 1-to-1. So we pay the 2 gems, and then we can convert gem, bread, leaf, potion, and iron. Just visiting that shop would get us 5 points, and then we can throw in one of our dragons in that wild slot to get 2 more points. That's really good, and that doesn't advance the clock. Right? And the other option I think we have going is well, our plan was to do that internal fryer and trigger these guys, and I think now is the time to do that before we start running out there. So we are going to go up here, and well, who do we want to trigger? We can do internal fryer with those. Yes, definitely. So we're going to go up here. We need to pay a resource, and we will pay iron. Doesn't have to, just coincidence that it happens to match the shop. But we'll pay that resource, and we will choose the internal fryer. So we pay 4 potions and 2 leaf tokens. That will get us 3 victory points. 2, 3, 2 coins, 1 and 2 to our pile, and 1 dragon. Well, if I can have a diamond dragon, I can get to 3 points when I go to tip the scale. So let's take a diamond dragon for that, and then we will enchant this shop like that. And we're going to definitely cash in our twinkle after enchanting. Gain 2 points per enchantment of the same type in town. We now have 3 of those enchantments, so that is 6 points. So it will take us from 26 to 32. And we'll just keep that off to the side. I'll tap it like that just to show it's been done already. And do we want to do Sparkle now? So Sparkle is after enchanting, gain a point per unique enchantment in town. There are 5 out there. The meat hasn't been enchanted yet, but I'm going to go ahead and cash this in just in case I don't want to do any more enchantments. So this Sparkle is going to be worth 5 more points. 32, taking us to 37. I think that's good timing for those guys. Okay, and now we can fire up as many of those dragons as we like. And we have gain up to 2 from what's in the shop there. And that does include the diamond dragon. So let's set us up to tip the scales a lot. Gain 2, the first one, we'll gain 2 of 1 good here. We're going to do the opal wing. We're going to gain 2 more diamonds. That actually fills us up with the diamonds. And so that means that for patina, we will resort to the iron, and that actually fills us up with iron. And then we have gain 3 different goods. Well, we're missing one here. Which one are we missing? We're missing the meat. So definitely meat, and then we'll take potion, and we'll take the leaf, and that sets us up to visit that tip the scales to take advantage of that particular spot. That was a really good enchantment there. Okay, refill, refresh. We are down to 4 in there. We better visit that spot a few more times before the end of the game. Let's see what the game does here. Oh, we have to refresh. Actually, this one refreshes the market. And the game draws Flint. Flint is going to come back here to the Skyrise district, and lo and behold, there's no more iron enchantments because we've done them all. So we're not going to have to worry about that. And where is Flint? I'm sorry, I moved him over here, but I shouldn't have done that. Flint will go here, and Flint will go there. But there are no, that's what I meant. There are no iron dragons there, so or iron enchantments there, so we don't need to do that particular step. Refresh, and what are we going to want to do next? I think we're going to come to tip the scales, as we said there. We're going to come to tip the scales. We want to use the shop ability, and to use the shop ability, we have to do the gather. So gather, for starters, we just get 1 lonely gem. That puts us over the limit, but we don't have to cut down until the end of our turn. You may place a dragon there to gain the reward, and I will place the diamond dragon on the 3 victory point slot to gain 1, 2, 3 victory points. And we can fire up 1 dragon there, And we might as well fire up the guy we just put there, gain 3 different goods, and let's set us up to come back here again. We're going to need a meat, and we're going to need a few more of these guys here. Let's say we go visit that bread later, so just to get a ton of resources. So we will take the leaf and the potion instead. Those will be our 3 unique resources. And use the shop ability. Yes, yes, yes. Pay 2 gems, 1, 2, to convert goods 1 to 1 into points. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We will claim 6 points for using those 6 resources. That takes us from 40 down to 46. Definitely, we'll be back tip the scale. So we're going to get our frequent visitor card for that place. Okay, on to the game's turn. Cutlet, meat. Ooh, Fogo de Char. That's the very first spot, and that does finish a shop. That's the first time the meat dragon has come out. And wouldn't you know it, there's 2 meat contracts. We haven't done either of those. At this point, I don't really care which one he does because I'm not going to be fulfilling these anymore. I'm just going to take this first one and place him there. And we'll refresh that. Let's see what shop just came out. We have Saving Throw, place a dragon in town, and if you fill a shop, gain 4 victory points. Heck, we could go there and get 7 just by placing that type of dragon and placing another, and maybe being able to fill a shop. Let's see if we can do that on our turn, because we're not in the need for a lot of things right now. If we went there, we would get an iron resource. That's fine, I guess. But we would really like to get a bread and a meat. When we go back to tip the scales, we can use Death Fang, so that's good. We can come here and place a dragon there. And then we could fill up Water Lily Way with our other dragon to gain the 4 victory points. I think this is going to be good for us. We will go to Saving Throw, and we will use the gather to gather the only resource it gives right now, being the iron. And then we may place a dragon there. We will place the meat dragon there to gain those 3 victory points. 1, 2, 3. And we can fire up one of them. It says place a dragon in town. We're not going to do that. We're not going to fire up anyone's, because we're going to use the shop ability to place a dragon in town, and we will fill that one, which gets us a coin, but it also gets us, if you fill a shop, 4 points. We get to flip our token to say we're at the 50 mark. Filled a shop, so we're going to take the last slot. This will be the last slot in town. It does not trigger any end game, but who did we get? Funky Brewsters. Take a dragon here to hand and replace it with a park dragon and fire up the new one. That could have been interesting at the beginning of the game, but that is not where we want to be at the end of the game. We don't even have any dragons to place anymore, and I'm not going to focus on that particular aspect of the game at this point. Let's have the game take their turn. Fondue, got a bread. It's going to fill up a spot, but we don't have any more shops to place. The town is full, so we don't have to worry about that step. It was a heart dragon, or a bread dragon. We don't move our token because we are the bread dragon, and there are no bread contracts to fulfill, so lo and behold, we get to go again without really advancing the clock on this game. And definitely back to tip the scales we go to gather. Now gathering gets us 2 diamonds, and we don't have a dragon to place. To fire one up, gain 3 different goods. Well, let's see. What do we got? We definitely want a bread, definitely want a meat, and I think we will take let's take a potion, because if we have to go get something from somewhere, I might end up at Water Lily Way, maybe. And now use the shop ability, pay 2 gems to convert goods 1 to 1 into points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different We'll definitely do that again. 6 points, taking us from 3 to 9. 59 now. Okay, I think that's pretty good. We can even go out and back there again. We're queued up for that again. Okay, we got bread. Again, another bread. So that's going to go in that very next spot. It does not move our token. There is no bread out here. It does not advance the clock. So, wow, what are we going to do? And I don't even have a dragon like to maybe just go fishing for more fancy dragons in that way. Maybe are there any shops? Yeah, I could go to the Red Tail Wharf and just gift goods to another player to gain 2. I have so many iron. I'm never going to spend all the iron at Tip the Scales, I don't think. So if I went there, I could spend 2 of those. Or I just come over here to Twig and do him once, but then I'll have the resources at least for the other guys to get back in there a couple times. Yes, so that's what we're gonna do. Over here to Water Lily Way, claim the resources, which will be 3 leaf tokens, 1 iron, and 1 potion. We won't place a dragon, of course. We will fire up one of them, and I'm going to fire up Twig to get our 2 victory points. And we'll use the shop ability to take another point. On to the game's turn. Dandelion. We got a green leaf. That's going to fill up this last slot here. We'll move the green dragon up to there. There is a green place, a green enchantment, so that will go out and advance the game clock. The game would end on these, so we definitely have just 4 more turns, no matter what happens in this deck. We'll refill that. And now on to our turn. Definitely going back to Tip the Scales, do our gather. We get the 2 gems that are just waiting for us there. We don't have a dragon to place. We will fire up the 3 different goods. We're low on the bread and the meat. And I don't know, potion seems as good as any at the moment since I have to get a different one. Use that shop ability. Pay those 2 gems we just gained, as it turns out, to convert unique goods 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 into 6 victory points. Again, 12 to 18. I think this is going to be pretty good. I want to make sure I get down on these guys before this game end game triggers, because I need to cash these in with having as few resources as possible. Okay, game will take their turn. We have the meat. The meat will fill in Tip the Scales. That's going to get us another resource when we go there now. But we'll have to pay a resource just to walk in the door. And we do take one of these off the board. We'll place him there. And we will refill that market. There's only 1 left. Only 1 left. What are we going to do? Going to have too many resources. So once endgame is triggered, you finish that round and play 1 more. So if we assume the game will trigger endgame next time, I will have 2 more turns, this one and 1 more. So I can leave Tip the Scales and come back. Let's go over here to the Red Tail Wharf. I'm going to get 3 meat. Actually, do I really want all these resources? Do I really want all the resources, or should I just run up there to the Wishing Well and get some coins, which are victory points? I think that seems smarter, just to go get victory points up there, because coming here, I don't actually need these resources right now. So there we go, up to the Wishing Well. We will get 3 coins, and we can you fire up one of the dragons, and we're going to fire up Olive to gift iron for 2 points, and then use the shop ability. You may flip up to 3 coins and get 2 points or lose the coin. These are already 1 as they stand. So if I flip it, I go from 1 to 0. But if or I could go from 1 to essentially 3 because I'd still have the coin. I don't have to lose the coin to get the 2 points. All right, we have to define what is heads and tails here. I don't know. This side has all 6 dragon heads on it. That's definitely heads. And then the side with the building, I think that's tails. And most of our coins have buildings on the back. So we'll flip this. Well, we can do it 3 times. Let's do 1. Let's see how this works out for us. Flip, and it came up tails. Lose the coin. All right, I don't like that. Let's do 1 more time. 1 more time. 1 more time. Flip the coin. Heads on that one. Heads. All right, what was it? Heads. Yes. Okay. So we get to keep the coin, and we get 2 points. All right, that was a net gain of a point, I think, and that's good enough. We won't do our 3rd flip. The game takes their turn, and it is the first time that the game is going to advance the purple, and it's going to go in that spot. Purple last dragon will go there, and we do have a purple potion available, which means when I refill the deck like that, that triggers end game. So we finish this round, and unfortunately, they're last in the round, and then you play 1 more. So we get a grand total of 1 more turn. And let's see, if we go, I think we go to tip the scales again because we're going to get 6 points. It's not going to work out well for us for these guys, but we have the tally man for backup. So we come to tip the scales. We will pay a resource. I'm going to pay this potion as my resource to walk in the door because he's already there. We get 2 gems and a meat. That was 3 gems. 2 gems and a meat. And we may place a dragon there. I don't have one to place. We may fire up, gain 3 different goods. I don't want to fire that one up. And Flambe, place a dragon in town. I don't have a dragon. But it is may fire one up. I'm not going to. And then may use the shop ability. So I will spend the 2 gems to convert goods. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this, and 6. 6. So we'll get the 6 like that. 6 points. 22, round to 28. And that is that. In the last round, there is no need to do the game's turn. It wouldn't advance anything. So we'll just move to end game scoring. And that goes like this. The first thing you do is you cash in your coins. You're not allowed to use your wild resources for any of your end game scoring. So you just cash those in. And we have 6 total. So we'll put those back in the fountain, make wish, and we'll get our 6 points. It goes from 28 to 34. And then we'll do our end game scoring, guys. So let's see. We have our tallyman, which says return these fancy dragons from your hand for 3 victory points each. Let's see if we need to do that. So this boo-boo is a victory point for each good you have 2 or less of. 2 or less of at the end of the game. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we have 0 bread, that's 5. Boo Boo by himself is worth 5, so we will get the 5 for that. 34 up to 39. And then Todd gets us 1 point for each type of good you have that is odd. We have 1 potion, 1 meat, and 3 iron, so it doesn't matter. He's worth 3 points. We'll keep Todd, and we'll do the 3 points. 1, 2, 3. That's 42. It's actually 92 because we flipped our token around. And then our tallyman, return from your hand for 3 points each. We don't have any to do for that. So we've reached the end with a grand total of 50 and 42, 92 points. What does that mean? Well, you go to the game book, the rule book here, and endgame scoring. In solo mode, we've reached 90 above, so we are master of flame. Woo! Whatever that means. But it does mean at master of flame, we can unlock 2 achievements, and the game book has these achievements here. The easiest one, of course, is the 12 shops in town. Uh, you will almost always have 12 shops in town after one of these games. Um, but what else could we mark off here? 8 fancy dragons. We only did 5. 4 shops with 3 enchantments each. Let's see. We had just 2. The bread and the iron had 3 enchantments each. Uh, 2 enchantments of each type in town. We didn't meet that. We have 2 bread or 2 meat ones, but we only had the 1 diamond enchantment, unfortunately. So that one wouldn't be one for us. We didn't turn in 9 at the end of the game. We only turned in 6 coins. Do we have 6 of any of these types of dragons in town? Well, we do. We have 6 of the bread. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That makes sense because we're playing with Pan the bread dragon. He made sure all his buddies came to help us out today. So I think that's the only one we had 6 of. Let's see. For twig, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We only had 5 of the green. And anyone else that we had a lot of? Did we get a lot of the diamond ones out? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I only see 5 of those. I think that's it. But we would be able to unlock both 12 shops in town and the half a dozen. So 12 shops would let us swap one of the shops, Wishing Well, with Dragon Alley. Now I did like Wishing Well. That was our one we went to at the end to get those 3 coins, and that did just put us over the limit. So that was pretty good. And we would add 2 more fancy dragons, and half a dozen would swap out Drake of Cakes with. I don't think Drake of Cakes came out for us this time. I'm curious to see what Drake of Cakes would have been. Drake of Cakes pay 2 bread to draw 2 park dragons. Well, it's a way to generate dragons, but I bet that other town or the other shop in town might be better. And 2 more, um, and 2 more fancy dragons. So we'll say at the end of this game, we're going to unlock 12 shops in town and the 6 bread dragons in town. So next time we play, we'll have a couple new shops and a couple new fancy dragons. And that wraps up Flamecraft in the solo mode. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm glad Pan was able to help us out and got us off to a good start there visiting that bread shop, and it really built that one up and was good in the early game to get that going. Tip the Scales really helped us at the end. I think that one is a key shop for solo mode. I don't think if that one did not happen to come out when it did, we would have been hard pressed to get as far along on that point meter as we did. I don't like playing too many of those enchantments myself because the game plays through them. We got very lucky that the game had many turns where it was not able to play those, and I think we got a few extra turns in there because of that. But it was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed it, and maybe we'll come back for a second round. Pan can help us out now that we've unlocked some more of unlocked Pan's very special ability. Right? All right. Until next time, I hope to see you around the table. Bye.
You rumskull.